joined by Yusuf from Bamboo Bonsai. Thank you so much for joining us for our second episode for our video series. How are you today?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. What have you been up to lately?
I've actually been in the studio for the past couple of days, recording 3 tracks, and then next month I'm going to be in the studio again, recording a few more tracks.
Lovely.
In a gig as well, so.
Pretty busy. Do you have anything exciting coming out soon?
I do, but like I can't say anything
Can't
at the
say
moment yet. But
That's
I've got some cool stuff coming up.
So obviously a lot's been happening over the last year. So looking back on like the peak of COVID and when lockdown was happening and everything, what did you do to keep yourself motivated?
It's funny because like a lot of people used like the whole lockdown thing as like as a productivity outlet, I guess, and being able to write more and stuff. I really honestly couldn't really write anything. I think my creative process a lot of the time comes from like day-to-day life, and that's sort of what I write about, or you know, so
it's hard to like get inspiration when I guess you're just in your house.
Oh yeah, a lot. I took a lot of time just practicing, I guess, and having the time to instrumentally. Yeah. But like from a creative standpoint, there wasn't like really that much going on.
And you're so right, like it is really hard. Like everyone expects you to have all these like fabulous things going on while you're just in your room, but it's really, as you said, you get inspiration from day-to-day life, so very difficult. So was it a good opportunity to reflect on your artist image as well? Did it make you realise what sort of direction you wanted to go with your music?
Oh, for sure. I think it gave me sort of the idea to pull a lot more influences and then like listen to a lot more music. From there I could sort of look at where my discography was. I haven't like demos a bunch of it or whatever and think, oh, I don't want to use these, I don't want to use these sort of things. So it's definitely sort of been able to steer me. Yeah. And from I guess an aesthetic point of view as well.
Yeah,
like
of course.
Using like branding and all that stuff, it gave me time to really like properly think about it and see where I want to go and everything.
So turning to like the local Brisbane music scene at the moment, how do you think it was impacted, and do you think it'll bounce back?
I think obviously it was pretty slammed, like everything was shut, people stopped playing, so a lot of venues have been having a difficult time, and obviously still now with the 50 cap shows or whatever it is, depending on where you are, like there's obviously has been hit, and obviously there won't be having as much income and as much shows and everything. It can get to the position where people like it gets back to like where it was before, because I think Brisbane especially is quite supportive of local artists, and a lot of people just want to go out, and I think not in necessarily a good way, but in a certain type of way, it's actually going to affect in the future things positively, because more people will be just wanting to get out and experiencing the nightlife.
And that's what a couple other people have been saying as well, like it's not really about like who you're seeing, it's about the fact that you're getting out of your house and you're seeing a live show, which I guess is really good for smaller artists because they're going to sell more tickets. So you've obviously had some experience yourself gigging around the place. Do you think it's worth artists like booking gigs now with all of the like reduced capacities for the venues? Is it worth it?
Yeah, I think so. Like it depends. Like regarding like playing, I've only the Bamboo stuff's pretty new, but I've been playing with John Marsden for a little while. We gigged a lot like last year, and I guess it just because you book a show doesn't mean it has to be ticketed. You can book a free entry show and people will come, because I remember we played a Greaser free entry show not too long ago and it was packed, like it was a capacity. People just want to come and hang out and have a drink or whatever, and you know, if you put yourself in a predicament where you can like just have people coming in, like it's definitely I think a good thing. And I think more so when you're first starting out, like I think it's not that big of a deal to focus on financial, if that's what people are worried about, because really when you start out in the music, you're not going to make any money for a little while, you know. It's
like such an expensive
but it's a passion driven thing, and the whole idea of, I guess, people, if you're doing music for money, like you're not going to get very far. It's passion driven. You need to be believing in yourself and believing in what you want to do and having fun to do it, to actually succeed and enjoy yourself. And
so what would you say to like smaller artists who are wanting to sort of start gigging and stay relevant but have no money? Like, what would you recommend them to start doing?
Well, I mean, like, you're still gonna get paid, but you're just not gonna get paid like monumental amounts.
Yeah.
But you're still gonna, and it's fair, because at the end of the day, like, when you first start, if you're doing original music, like I'm in the same predicament now because I'm quite small.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, a venue is taking a risk on you if they don't know you and you don't really know much of your discography. So, like, I mean, most people who are doing music have another job.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's do music, especially now at the moment. Like, do it for your own.
Especially when you're young and uni and everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Especially whilst we're in uni. Like,
yeah.
Uni students are meant to be poor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know how a lot of bands and artists have been, I guess, doing a lot of live stream shows over Zoom and stuff. Do you think that'll stick?
I think the live streaming thing will stick for people who are of the bigger status. I think for those who are smaller artists who can get back in and start playing, you know, small shows where you pay 50, 70, 30 people, whatever, it's no skin off the nose for someone who's gonna be playing a gig like that anyway. But I guess for people who are, you know, like in the like hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, to do a show would be, I mean, a lot of those artists aren't Australian.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them, the bigger artists are in places where COVID is still quite at the like the eye of the storm. You know what I mean? We're lucky to have been able to get through it quite quickly. But I think live streaming will stay around, but or digital gigs. But I think in the far future, I don't think so. The whole part of, you might as well listen to a recording.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's not that special.
Yeah. People have found a way to engage with their fan base in a different way, which is
found the way to get the music out there, you know. So do you prefer playing like as a guitarist or like for somebody, or would you prefer to have like your own sort of show?
I guess there's different sort of like bounds to what you're doing. If you like, when I'm playing like a Bamboo show or we're getting ready, like, it's very meticulous in my brain what I want, because I know exactly, because I do everything myself in the studio, like, I know exactly what it is. And I guess it's a bit more of a stressful, to an extent. Like, it's still not stressful, but I become very meticulous. Whereas if I'm playing for John, because we've been playing them for so long and he's happy with how I'm playing, like, I can sort of let go a bit more. Whereas I let go in like a Bamboo show or whatever, but it just takes me a bit longer to be able to get there. I think it's an artistic
It's more
thing.
of when it's your like name on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So moving on to like new artists, like emerging artists, do you think that COVID and the struggles have put a lot of new artists off, like joining the music industry or pursuing a career in music, like younger students, high school students?
See, that's an argument which, to an extent, I've never really sort of understood since this all happened, because like, it's not just musicians, like, most people are out of a job. So this whole sort of thing that, like, look what happens if you're in the music industry, you'll be out of a job. Like, this is an unparalleled global pandemic. It's never happened before, and probably won't happen again for another 50 years or whatever.
It's not in our lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this whole idea that, like, it should, I think, like, or that it would draw people away from music, I think is a bias that people have always wanted to sort of, like, if there's someone who is trying to discourage someone else from doing music, this has given them an excuse to do so. But I don't think it's necessarily. That's true. I don't think it's valid.
Blame music.
It's happened in most of the industry.
So what support can people just out in the world give artists like yourself at the moment? What would you, if you could say anything, what would you say?
I guess just like listen to my music and show your friends. I like really appreciate it when people show other people. More than anything, because I think more than, you know, like money or whatever, like what's more important is that like I see people, you know, take note and sort of like it or enjoy it, or even if they don't like it, like they've just like listened and, you know, given it a chance or whatever. I guess give small artists a chance. And like try and expand the repertoire of what you listen to.
So what's keeping you excited about music for the future?
Well, I do a degree in music, so like my whole sort of life is music, and that might be like doing the Bamboo stuff, or might be doing John stuff, or it might just be making beats or like whatever. I'm always sort of occupying my time with music, and you know, I'm hopefully we'll be producing some other bands soon, which will be cool too.
That'd be
So
fun. Yeah.
just expanding, putting eggs in multiple baskets, I think is what sort of
everything, yeah.
like excites me about music, not just sort of one element. I think it's like multiple elements.
Yeah, cool, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this
That's
episode. Everyone give it a watch. I'm sure everyone learned a lot. I did. So yeah, cool.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.